Cleaning and oiling this machine is very important. And by doing it about every 2 to 3 bobbins, you are going to keep this machine in top running condition. Now, we always recommend that you take your machine in about once a year to your local Bernina store to have it professionally cleaned all the other places that you and I will not be able to reach. So here's how we're going to start. Take some scissors, and then we're going to clip the thread at the spool and pull the thread all the way out this needle. Do you know why? Because if you just pull your thread out and backwards, it often takes a lot of the fluff that is gathered at your foot needle and takes it up into your machine. That's going to eventually start to give you some issues later. We're going to go ahead and remove the needle and remove the foot. If you'd like to have a light on while you're doing this, of course your book always says turn your machine off. You can unplug your foot control for safety reasons, and then that way you won't step on the foot control. Nothing's going to run while your fingers are in here. Next, we need to take off the throat plate. Notice you don't have to get a screwdriver out. There's no screws. There is a bullseye on the back corner of the little throat plate right here. What I like to do is I guide my students to always do a knuckle from one thumb, and then with a knuckle from your other thumb, these two pushing down will lift that plate, and you can then just lift it on up. When we go to put it back in, we're going to line up the back edge and then pull down firmly with our fingers. When it's all lined up, it'll snap right into place. There we go. So knuckle, knuckle on that bullseye, pops it up. All right. Next, we'll take out our bobbin case. We'll set that aside. I'm going to go ahead and allow you to see this a little bit better. I'm going to tip the machine up so you can see. Next, you're going to take, there's a lever on the left side. Press that in, and this whole entire front part will come forward. This is all attached, so nothing's going to come loose here. But kind of the silver arm and the black race cover, as it's called, is going to stay kind of lay down. Reach into this spindle right here. That's the hook. I'm going to pull that all the way out. That's as far as you have to go to clean this machine. Now, usually this is where all the lint, you're working on fleeces and flannels. Wow, that's going to really show off what color you were sewing on. So if you were on red fleece, it's going to be completely red down here. Go ahead and take your cleaning brush and start to clean. Do not use canned air. Canned air is going to force more of it back into your machine than actually out. So we need to brush and pull out the lint and keep it nice and going. A lot of times I use my little, these are dust sets. We sell those in the store. We just go in, and that's like a Swiffer for soy machines, really quick and easy. And then you can dust those feed dogs too, because a lot of the lint will go over, kind of gather right here underneath the teeth. Now, for oiling, what you want to do is take your oil, and this is sealed, so you are going to want to take a little pin and stick that in there and get us so it will open. Then what you want to do, oftentimes what I'll do is just put a couple drops of oil on my finger, and then I'm going to rub it around the outside perimeter. You could even put a couple drops of oil on here. This is the part that goes back and forth. This is your hook, and it goes back and forth metal against metal. So all we have to do is keep this outside lubricated, and you are good to go. Keep it clean, keep it lubricated. Your Bernina is going to be nice and quiet and will serve you for years of wonderful sewing. So couple drops, and if you want, you can smooth it out. Now, to put this in, you're going to go ahead and see there's about a half moon in there now, and this is the other half. So here's how it's going to go. This part here is the really sharp part, the hook. It's going to kind of sit underneath this part that's currently in there. I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. I know it's kind of hard to see. The edge of the hook just sits flush around the outside. When it really is properly placed, it just sits there. It doesn't click or anything, but it doesn't fall out. So that's one way. And you can see how that hook is kind of positioned? So it just kind of sits right in there like that. Twist it until it sits properly. I'm trying to keep this so you can see with my hands in there. There we go. Once it's sitting there, then you're going to take the front cover. I like to recommend pushing on both sides of the silver arms, and then that will go back behind the little lever that you use to release it. So make sure it's back behind there. And then we'll go ahead and we can put our bobbin case back in and cut our thread. Close this up. And now let's go ahead and put our throat plate back on. Line that up. Push firmly down. Foot goes on next. And needle goes in last. This would be a good time to put in a new needle, and then that way you know you're starting off fresh and clean. So once again, about every 2 to 3 bobbins, you want to do this, and then that way you're going to just keep your machine running really smooth for all its entire life.